welcome, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, we will be very happy to have you for our lectures. For your information, Amateur Astronomers Association is now 47 years old. So, in next 2 or 3 years, we will be 50 years in Mumbai city. So, this is our introduction to astronomy, and we had been conducting astronomy lectures. Earlier, there were no facilities of online, so we used to invite our speakers, and in a classroom in St. Xavier's College, a Department of Physics, Professor Kamath was our president, who was a professor of physics, but he used to love astronomy. So that is how the origin of amateur astronomers happened in uh, 1977. So we have been continuing this particular venture of having astronomy online from last 4 years. So for us also, online astronomy is now mostly listened by people from all over the country. It is not just now left with Mumbai alone. We have your talk being listened in all the parts of the country. Besides that, I have to give a brief introduction of Professor uh, Guru Prasad for his immense love and interest in the subject of communication of space science. He has a degree in specifically in space science, that is indigenous as well as external technologies in space technology. So he is a student, or rather, he is a PhD from Mysore University, and he has given several talks not only in ISRO but even outside ISRO at NASA and in the German Space Agency. It's not just, this is just the tip of the iceberg, but he has traveled all over the country, all over the world, I would say, from Austria, and then he has a proficiency certificate for principle of flights, which he is taking up at National Institute of Advanced Studies in Bengaluru. Besides, he has written more than 700 articles, both in English and in Sanskrit in particular. So, we have a distinguished uh, director of Jawahar Planetarium giving a talk today on cosmic chronicles, and we all look forward for your wonderful talk, sir.
Thank you.
With this, I propose that we hand over the uh, board to you, sir. Thank you very much in advance for accepting our invitation.
Thank you, sir. I feel really
We
honored.
look forward for your talk now, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And thanks for the kind words. And I feel really honored to have been invited by Amateur Astronomers Association of Mumbai. Okay, you say Bombay. Yes, that sounds very well. Okay. Uh, really, the thing is, Mumbai is one city which I like most. With me, one of my colleagues in ISRO, and now who is our administrative officer, Mr. Dinakar, is sitting. Actually, he was our technical license unit is there in Mumbai, in Khar West. He was the one who was heading it. He's also sitting with me here. And one more person is my colleague, Mr. Deepak, who is an engineer with our planetarium. They are there. And Mumbai is a place, really I like. My friend Srinivas Lakshman is very much there. And I'm very, I don't know how many times I've come to Mumbai. And I really enjoy, probably sometime I will travel, when I travel to Mumbai, we can all meet. Once again, thanks to Kalyan Bharat Adur sir, as well as Mr. Mangesh Sutar, who has taken a lot of pain in arranging this, and all the people who have played a role in organizing this lecture today. And once again, good evening to all of you. And the thing is, I'm very proud to say that I was associated with ISRO for 37 years. And half of my life in ISRO was as a satellite scientist, where I specialized in satellite mission planning, analysis, and operations. In connection with that only, I could able to work at a NASA ground station as well as at German Space Agency, DLR. Having later transferred to ISRO headquarters, I had the opportunity to go to different places around the world, and that was an eye opener for me, and made me to learn as to where we stand today as a country in the domain of space, as well as in science and technology in general. So without wasting much of time, let me directly go to the topic of today's talk. Let me present. Okay, so I'll share and window. Okay, I'm going there, and this is the one. Oh, this one. Okay. Okay, I'm sharing this, and I hope all of you are able to see this. Okay.
Yes, sir. It's very much visible. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot. See, the topic of today's talk is Cosmic Chronicles. This was a suggestion by Mr. Mangesh, and I gave the topic Wonderful Worlds. Okay, anyway, I'll come to that. It doesn't matter, no. Cosmic Chronicles, Solar System through Robotic Eyes. There is a reason why I have given this caption for today's talk. Okay, so once again, now, just a moment. Okay, now let me go to the next slide. See, today, I hope all of you are able to see this. The rotating Earth, in fact, this is a NASA image actually. You can see the Earth rotating. And we live on a planet called Earth, which is the third rock from the sun, as they say. Okay, Earth is a planet and we are all living on it. This is a unique planet, which is also known as blue planet, in fact. And Earth is unique in the sense it is endowed with liquid water for sure. In other places, it is said that liquid water is there, might be there, chances are there that it is there, and a lot of indications are there, indirect ones like that. But here on Earth, you can see that water is ever present, and 71% of the surface of the Earth is covered by water. And apart from that, you have deserts like this, okay, and we have tropical. This is not tropical forest. This is somewhere in the temperate area. But anyway, Earth is endowed with a lot of flora. That is a lot of plant life, and we have other features like volcanoes, okay, which is due to plate tectonics, whatever we say. And we are there, okay, humans, and we have changed the Earth for the better or for the worse in many respects. And this is where this is the only place where we can call it as our home planet or our home. There might be other places where they may look quite enticing if something were to happen to the Earth, but still there is a long way to go. But for us, this is the only home which we have today. That is why onus of responsibility is on us to protect it. Now, Earth, another unique thing about Earth is endowed with life. Life, different kinds of life. You see, the thing is we have microscopic life, we have small life forms like small fishes and even planktons there which are eaten by fish. And we have, the thing is animals like this and reptiles like this. And this is the beautiful albatross, birds. So different kinds of life are there, millions of species. And we are unique humans. We belong to the class of mammals, but humans are endowed with the thinking capability. That is the one which makes them different from all other forms of life which we know. And on Earth, we have land areas called large land areas called continents. People say there are 5 continents, 6 continents, 7 continents, like that. It's a matter of semantics, how we actually define a continent as such. Okay, all these continents together, along with the oceans, it is called as the world as such. Okay, so world means we refer to Earth, our planet Earth, as the world as such. Okay, all the continents, oceans, even including our atmosphere and such things. Now, if you look at the night sky from the surface of the Earth, okay, nowadays it has become a rarity in the city areas to see night sky very clearly, because light pollution is so much, and it is not easy for you to see the heavenly bodies near the horizon. But anyway, this kind of problem was not there for our ancestors thousands of years back, and they could able to stare at the sky first with fear, and then systematically they started observing, and perhaps that was the beginning of science as such. And as I told you, humans are unique in the sense that different from all other forms of life because they have the ability to think, and exploration is in their blood. In fact, it is in their psyche. So humans have wondered when they looked at the night sky like this, what are all these things? What are stars, and what are these dots of light which seem to move amongst the stars? Okay, what is sun? What is moon? Okay, what are these heavenly bodies which looks like broomsticks kind of thing? Okay, so where do I fit in? What is the purpose of my existence? These kind of questions have haunted humans for a long time. And this kind of, this kind of hunger to explore the unknown, explore the night sky, actually, it got expanded much after humans came to know that Earth is one of the planets, that is the large bodies that go around the sun. One of the 6 bodies they thought. Ancients, I'm telling, till about 400 years back, people thought that there were 6 large bodies going around the sun: the Mercury, Venus, and our own Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. They didn't know about the existence of Uranus and Neptune at all. And today we know that there are 8 planets in the solar system. Mercury are Buddha, and Venus are Shukra, and Earth is Bhumi and or Prithvi. Mars is Mangala, Jupiter is Guru, Saturn is Shani. Uranus and Neptune have the same names because they were not known to our ancients, and they didn't give Indian names to them. And of these 8 worlds, how do they look? Okay, these planets, Earth is a planet like other 7 planets. Then our Earth is a fantastic world, no doubt about it. I told you what are all the things there on the surface of the Earth. What about the other 7 planets? Are they also very interesting worlds? How do they look? What are the conditions on their surface? This is what humans have wondered for a long time. But, thanks to the space age, now we know. Look at that. This is the surface of one of the planets, okay, of Mars. Okay, look at that. Do you know that it is Mars? We think that it is Earth itself, because look at this. It looks as though they are granite stones, which are actually which are there, which are scattered all over the surface. Okay, this is one thing. If you have work, you can leave, no problem. If you have work, I will continue. Sorry about this. I didn't want to trouble my colleagues. That is why. Okay. Anyway, I'll continue. I was telling, Mars resembles Earth in many ways, and the surface of Mars sometimes, when we look at it, we get confused that whether it is Earth or Mars. Okay, so much of similarity is there in many respects. And there are other worlds, especially one world which is hell. And this world is the hellish twin of the earth, which is Venus. Okay, I'll come to that a little later, but suffice it to say that, other than earth, the other worlds of the solar system, other 7 worlds of the solar system, each has its own properties, each has its own speciality. And some of them, most of them are hostile only for us. The degree of hostility only differs, that's all. And on some of the worlds, which may not be a planet, some of the large satellites of large planets, okay, they also are they also can be called as worlds, because they are large bodies, and one of the satellites of Jupiter is larger than planet Mercury. So they qualify to the status of planets, okay, or the worlds, I would say. Though technically it is not correct to call them planets, but they are also worlds, curious worlds. Okay, this is the picture of this is an artist's imagination of the surface of Io, one of the Galilean satellites of Jupiter, and you can see the orb of Jupiter in the sky of Io. And whenever I say the word planet, okay, I said there are 8 planets revolving around the sun. That is what humans say now. Till 2006, from 1930 to 2006, humans were telling there are 9 planets in the solar system. Excuse me. But today, we say that there are 8 planets, that is 8 large bodies which are going around the sun. Then what do we mean by the word planet? Ancient Greeks, when they observed the night sky, they were puzzled by one thing. The stars which were twinkling appeared to be fixed to the sky, but amongst the stars, there were 5 dots of light. I repeat, 5 dots of light which used to move, okay, not as fast as is shown in this picture. Over a period of weeks, they used to move in between the stars, okay. So ancient Greeks named these bodies, these dots of light which appear to wander, as wanderers, okay, wanderers in the night sky. The word wander in Greek is planetes, from which the English word planet has come. And in Sanskrit, it is called graha. In Hindi, graha maybe, that is the kind of thing. And that is the origin of the term planet. It is a planet was supposed to be a wanderer. For a long time, humans were thinking that the earth was the center of the universe, and all other bodies in this universe. Universe was a term which was not easy to define in those days. The sun, the moon, the so-called planetes, they were all revolving, the starry sky, everything was revolving around the sun, revolving around the earth, I'm sorry. This was the geocentric view. And if you look at the night sky, that is what it appears to be. Okay, if even for modern humans it appears like that, what about the people in the medieval era? So people believed. But there were people who were dissenters, like Nicholas Copernicus, who said that no, it is not the sun which goes around the earth. It is the earth along with other 5 planetes. Okay, it revolves around the sun. So that is what his view. It came to be known as heliocentric view, that is sun-centered universe. So according to Copernicus, sun was the center of the universe. I told you the word universe was very difficult to define in those days. Then Copernicus was attacked by so many people, physically and figuratively both. And in the sense, there were severe criticism of that, of his view. But anyway, Galileo Galilei, another great observational astronomer and scientist, he provided the proof to the Copernican theory by observing the sun and the rotation of the sun. and the mountains and valleys on the moon, and the phases of Venus and such things. That the appearance of those things in the telescope supported Copernican theory. There was yet another great astronomer of those times in 1600s by name Johannes Kepler, a German. Though he was first convinced that planets revolved around the sun in circular orbits, and each one was fixed to a transparent sphere, glass sphere kind of thing. Later, very reluctantly, he assumed that planets revolve around the sun in elliptical orbits. Then everything fell into a good explanation, and he actually enunciated three laws: Kepler's first law, second law, and third law. They were so useful. And if I go in for those things, a lecture would be 3 hours long. So I don't want to do that. But anyway, suffice it to say, the first law of Kepler says that planets revolve around the sun in elliptical orbits. And the second law says that when a planet is very near to the sun, it moves very fast. When it goes far away, it moves slowly. Why? Many astronomers scratch their heads. See, this is the way. As far as sun is concerned, the nearest point to the sun when Earth is revolving around the sun, it is called apogee. And the farthest point in Earth's orbit around the sun, when the Earth is at a point which is farthest from the sun, it is called apogee. Perihelion and apohelion. I'm extremely sorry. When it comes to a satellite revolving around the Earth, it is perigee and apogee. It is perihelion and apohelion. When Earth is revolving around the sun, the nearest point in its orbit to the sun is called perihelion. The farthest point is aphelion. And Kepler said, second law of Kepler said that a planet revolves around the sun in elliptical orbit. When the planet in its orbit around the sun, when it is very near to the sun, it is moving fast. When it is when it is far away, it is moving slowly. Many people scratch their heads as to why it is. It was for this great scientist and one of the finest scientists and physicists, Sir Isaac Newton, who propounded his theory of gravitation, which explained as to why a planet moves fast when it is very near to the sun, and when it is far away, it moves slowly. And his inverse square law is law of gravitation, which tells about the inverse, which contains the inverse square law also. And now Newton very clearly told as to why planets revolve around the sun. It is because the sun has an enormous mass, enormous mass. It is this mass which generates a powerful and titanic magnetic field, titanic gravitational field, which is responsible for keeping all the planets of the solar system and all other bodies of the solar system in the firm grip of the sun, whether it is a comet or an asteroid or a planet or a satellite around that planet. Everything is bound to the sun directly or indirectly due to its enormous mass. In fact, the sun contains more than 99.8% of the mass of the entire solar system. So it is the powerful gravitational field of the sun which is responsible for the orderly arrangement of the solar system. Now, after Galileo Galilei used telescopes, many people started using telescopes to observe the heavens, including the planets, the moons, and our moon, as well as the satellites of Jupiter and such things. But telescopes provided us a lot of information, no doubt about it, due to their inherent property. But sometimes telescopes led to confusion. For example, in 1859 or so, around the 1860s, let us say, there was an Italian astronomer by name Giovanni Schiaparelli. He said he observed the planet Mars, when it was quite near to the Earth, and he said he saw straight line features on the surface of Mars. He claimed that he saw. And he called them canali. Canali in Italian means channels, like English channel, which separates UK from Europe. Okay, Beagle Channel in the extreme southern part of South America. Beagle Channel is there. So channel is a natural waterway. But somebody translated the word canali as canals. That led to lots and lots of confusion. And, many people believed that Mars was inhabited by warmongering, super intelligent beings who were supposed to be more intelligent than we Earthlings. Okay. But that was a fascinating story, but it was not true. So this confusion came because of the limited ability of telescopes. Now, after the dawn of space age,
5,
things
4,
are different.
We have main engine ignition. 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta 4 Heavy rocket.
Look at that. This is the a rocket that launched Parker Solar Probe. Anyway, even the same kind of rocket can launch any spacecraft to any planet or even a satellite. Look at that, how a rocket launches. Today, if at all, we know a lot. If you think that our knowledge horizon has broadened in a revolutionary way, in a phenomenal way, no doubt about it, that there is no doubt that robotic spacecraft are responsible for that. Without robotic spacecraft, I told you about the confusion created by the telescopic observation of Mars. Now look at that, the way in which a rocket is taking a robotic spacecraft. In this case, in this video, it is the Parker Solar Probe. As I told you, any other, the same rocket can launch it towards Mars or Jupiter or Saturn. See, this is the way, excuse me, the rocket goes, and each and every stage gets separated, and finally the spacecraft is injected to orbit, and either first it's starts circling the Earth, or directly it goes towards its target heavenly body. In fact, look at that. This is the third stage of the rocket, and the way in which the heat shield which is covering it during its atmospheric flight, it is getting separated, and this is the way each stage is separated. And now look at the Parker Solar Probe, how it gets separated from the rocket, the launching rocket, and starts its own independent life and travels towards the sun. So this is an animation, NASA animation. Thanks to that, a beautiful animation which make you to understand as to how a spacecraft is launched. You see, this is the way it has separated and it is going up. Now, you see, these robotic spacecraft, they are, human messengers, okay? They resemble artificial Earth satellites a lot. But, the difference is that they have far more tolerance. Like humans, they have structural subsystem. Their body temperature also has to be controlled, thermal, and their arms and legs are all folded during launch. They're stretched after launch. That is mechanisms. They have a primary power system, which is a solar panel or a nuclear power source. And they have loud mouths, not so loud mouths, but mouths and ears, sensitive ears. They have, like our eyes, they have sensory organs, okay? Then they have their brain, which is control system. For example, look at the Cassini spacecraft. This is the one which went and actually explored Saturn while circling it for over a decade or so. And ultimately, it was sacrificed in order not to pollute some of the satellites of Saturn, which might, scientists thought, contain life. And how do they communicate? Spacecraft like this, look at that, through their mouth and ear, which is nothing but this dish-shaped antenna. They send the information, and okay, they receive commands from the Earth also. This is the way. Now, when these robotic spacecraft, when they send information either about their health or about the scientific data which they have collected, including images, they don't have a very loud mouth. Okay, they whisper the information. But due to inverse square law, the signal strength will be so feeble by the time, having traveled millions or hundreds of millions of kilometers or billions of kilometers from their targets, when they whisper, by the time the energy reaches, it is so feeble. So giant antennas are very much essential to receive it on the earth. And this is an antenna which is very near to Bangalore. This is part of Indian Deep Space Network. It is in a place called Bengaluru, about 35 kilometers from Bangalore. The width of this antenna is 105 feet, and the weight of this antenna is 350 feet. And it is a marvel of Indian engineering. It has proved during Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, and it is working during Aditya also. And there are different scientific instruments on this robotic spacecraft. Let me repeat, without robotic spacecraft, our knowledge of solar system would not have been like this. Definitely. So we humans have to thank our robotic messengers for introducing us to the peculiarities and specialities of different worlds of the solar system. So these are the scientific instruments, either they're imaging instruments like this, or dust particle detectors, and or plasma detectors and such things. What is the capability of this spacecraft? Okay, robotic messenger. Look at this picture. This is a picture taken by a National Geographic photographer of the Death Valley in California, taken by a human being. This is a desert. And of course, this is also a desert. This is on Earth. This is on Mars. This is taken by this camera only. Okay. They have put the picture like this. That's all. Okay. Look at that. This is the surface of Mars. Can you believe that such a detailed picture can be sent to Earth? That is the technology today, communication technology. So we know so much about the surface of planet Mars today, thanks to robotic spacecraft. Okay. Now, when we look at the night sky, the planets appear to us as bright dots of light. They change their position over weeks or months. But when robotic spacecraft are sent towards them, how do they look? What secrets do they reveal? Come, let us see. Let us go on a tour of the solar system, beginning from the very first planet, Mercury. Mercury or Buddha is the first planet from the sun. I'll give you certain information. The thing is, Mercury is the smallest planet of the solar system. It has got a diameter of about 4,800 kilometers. For comparison, Earth's diameter is around 12,756 kilometers. And Mercury is at a distance of about 6 crore kilometers from the sun on the average. Let me say on the average. It is in elliptical orbit, but it is at a distance of about 6 crore kilometers. I'm not using millions and billions, because we are more familiar in our country with crores and lakhs. Okay. So Mercury is on the average at a distance of 6 crore kilometers. So it is smaller than half the size of the Earth. Okay. And if you look at the surface of Mercury, it appears as though it looks like the moon. In fact, okay, it's a bizarre planet. If you stand, actually, people didn't even know what was the rotation, what was the rate at which Mercury rotated, okay, around its axis. They thought that it was tidally locked, like moon is tidally locked. That is, it always presents one face to Earth, our moon. Like that, Mercury, excuse me, presents only one hemisphere towards the sun. They were thinking that is not the case. Mercury takes 88 days to go around the sun once. 88 days to go around the sun once. But it takes 59 days to spin around its own axis once. 1 day on Mercury from one point of view is 59 Earth days, and 1 year on Mercury is 88 Earth days. You cannot see Mercury easily, even today or yesterday also, whatever, because It is the nearest planet to the sun, and the maximum angular separation is 28 degrees. Elongation, they say. So it is very, very difficult, especially nowadays due to light pollution. You can't see it at all easily, I would say. So this is the thing. So the very first spacecraft which went towards Mercury was Mariner 10, actually, Mariner 10, which first explored Venus, then it went to Mercury, but it could able to see only half of Mercury. So this is the sunlit portion of Mercury. This is in the night side. Then after nearly 30 plus years, NASA sent yet another spacecraft in an orbit around Mercury with great difficulty. It is called as Messenger. First spacecraft was Mariner 10. This is the Messenger spacecraft, which became an artificial satellite of Mercury. It has shown there almost the entire Mercury. And how does it feel to be on the surface of Mercury? Let us see. This is the picture, an artist's imagination of the surface of Mercury. It looks somewhat like this. And look at the sun. Sun will be 3 times as big as it is visible from the surface of the Earth. And if you stand on the sunlit side of Mercury, your temperature will be only plus 430 degrees centigrade, plus 430. Compare it with the Earth. Even if it is 35, 40, oh, it is so hot in Mumbai, we say, or in Bengaluru. But you don't like this hot temperature. Let us say you go to the night side, okay, like this. Night side is here, okay, or even here. But if you go to the night side, your temperature plummets to minus 180 degrees centigrade, minus 180 degrees centigrade or Celsius. So one side plus 430, another side it is minus 180. Anybody wants to go there? Without atmosphere, you can't breathe there, and sunlight is so powerful, and no protection from harmful radiation from the sun, particles from the sun. Nobody wants to go there, I feel. Mercury doesn't have any satellite of its own, natural satellite. Okay, Mercury doesn't have any natural satellite. So much so about the first planet from the sun. Anyway, now one more spacecraft called Bepi Colombo is approaching Mercury. This is from the European Space Agency as well as Japanese Exploration Agency, Space Exploration Agency, JAXA. Now let us come to the next planet, Venus, Shukra. Okay, so the thing is, Venus is sometimes many a times referred to as the evil twin of the Earth. Why evil? I'll come to that a little later. Venus is the nearest planet to the Earth. Even when they are separated by the minimum distance, Venus is on the average at a distance of 4 crore kilometers from the Earth. 4 crores, even when it is very near, roughly. And Venus is at a distance of, Mercury, I told you, is at a distance of 6 crore kilometers. Earth is at a distance of 15 crore kilometers from the sun. For comparison, Venus is at a average distance of 11 crore kilometers from the sun. Venus is, even today, if you look at it, it is frighteningly bright. But what you are seeing is not the planet. It is the clouds engulfing the planet. That is what you are seeing. But in this picture, taken through radar, you will see the surface of Venus only. Look at Venus. In terms of size, it is almost similar to Earth. 12,756 kilometer diameter, 12,000 kilometer diameter. Density, mass are almost quite the same. But then Venus is also like the Earth. That is what many people were thinking. It was engulfed by thick clouds, in fact, which I showed you here in this one. But what clouds? What else? Water clouds, people were thinking. But they are sulfuric acid clouds. And anyway, these kind of things came to be known only after spacecraft started exploring Venus, and especially after the Soviet Venera series of spacecraft in the 60s and 70s, and even in the beginning of the 1980s. They landed on the surface of Venus and took color pictures even. And what they revealed made the human beings to shudder with fear, in fact, because everywhere on the surface of Venus, temperature is plus 450 degrees centigrade. That is like being in a microwave oven. And the pressure which is there on the planet is 90 times the pressure which is falling on you and me now. Our bodies have evolved and we don't feel one atmospheric pressure as nothing. But on Venus, if you stand, so it is 90 times. And you want to take a deep breath? No, it is not possible. It is carbon dioxide. And if rain falls there, excuse me, it is not water, it is sulfuric acid. What else you need to call Venus a hell, in fact? So if you stand on the surface of Venus, you are going to be simultaneously burnt, incinerated, simultaneously crushed, and simultaneously dissolved, let us say, due to acid. But anyway, fortunately, acid rain, that is sulfuric acid rain, will not fall as droplets on the surface of Venus, but you get asphyxiated simultaneously. For comparison, Venus takes 225 days to go around the sun once, and it takes 243 days to revolve around its own axis once in the so-called opposite direction, because almost all the planets of the solar system spin around their axis from west to east, but Venus rotates from east to west. So it is called retrograde rotation. So 1 year is 225 days, 1 day is 243 days in the so-called wrong direction. Venus does not have any natural satellite. So this is the way Venus looks at different wavelengths. Now, if Venus is hell, what else is this? This is heaven, about which I'm not talking. And Earth is endowed with a natural satellite. Venus does not have a natural satellite like Mercury, and Earth is endowed with a natural satellite, the single natural satellite called the Moon. In terms of size, Moon is 1/4 the size of the Earth, and on the average, it is at a distance of 384,000 kilometers, almost 4 lakh kilometers from the Earth. Moon is also a horrible place. When the temperature is, if you are standing on the day side, your temperature will be more than plus 100 degrees centigrade. If you are on the night side, it may go even less than minus 150 degrees centigrade also. So this is the case with Mercury, and this kind of thing is found on Moon also. And look at that. This is a picture taken by a spacecraft, half Earth and half Moon. That means their phase is half. Okay, that is the thing. And Moon's mass is 1/81th of that of the Earth. And Moon has a diameter of 3,476 kilometers. Earth is 12,756. Already told you, 1/4. So less mass and smaller diameter make the gravity on the surface of the Moon 1/6, and that is why the astronauts, when they walk, it appears as though they are it is like kangaroo hopping, in fact. This is our Chandrayaan-1 spacecraft. Chandrayaan-1, I repeat, not 3, which was being readied before it was launched by PSLV on October 22nd, 2008. I was there for the launch of that. It was a miracle, I would say, on that day. Whether gods permitted it, that's a different story. And this is the way Chandrayaan-1 went into an orbit around the Moon, polar orbit at 100 kilometers high, and it wonderfully explored the Moon. And it sent a old TV set-sized contraption or a device to the surface of the Moon. It hit the surface of the Moon. It impacted the surface of the Moon, and India became the 4th individual country to reach the surface of the Moon, not land, reach the surface of the Moon on November 14th, 2008. Okay. Then look at that. Many people, naysayers, many people criticize why India should have a program to space program and all those things. See, 12 people had already walked on the Moon, and dozens of spacecraft had already gone towards the Moon. But it is for your Chandrayaan to conclusively say that there is water on the Moon. I would say, if I were to ask a selenologist, that is a scientist or an astronomer specializing in the moon, is there water on the moon? He would have scratched his head and said, perhaps. But actually, today, if you ask him, he says, yes, definitely there is water. Your Chandrayaan was the first spacecraft to confirm it. And look at that, Chandrayaan 2 made an attempt to land on the moon. It was not successful. But anyway, Chandrayaan 2 orbiter, even today, it is working very well and sending high resolution pictures and other scientific data. Then now you want the proof. This is the picture of the century, which is there on my back also here in the planetarium. This is the picture of Vikram lander of Chandrayaan 3 in the South Polar region of the moon. India is a pioneering country which landed in South Polar region of the moon. And this picture is taken by Pragyan rover. This is the one which carried in the abdomen of that Vikram lander, in fact. And we have already collected in situ scientific data from Chandrayaan 3, Vikram lander, as well as Pragyan rover. So Chandrayaan 3 is as much of a triumph for engineering as it is for science. Now, let us go to the fourth planet from the sun, Mars. I think humans are really mesmerized by Mars, and they are so devoted to Mars compared to any other planet of the solar system other than the Earth. Because why? There are reasons for that. Look at that. There are many similarities between Mars and Earth. Mars is a little more than half the size of the Earth in terms of diameter, 6,900 kilometers or something, compared to our 12,756 kilometers. And the axial tilt of Mars, it is almost the same, 25 degrees. And one day on Mars is 24 hours, 39 minutes. Nowhere else in the solar system you will have this kind of thing, similarity between the Earth. Here it is 23 hours, 56 minutes, 4 seconds. There it is 24 hours, 39 minutes. Look at that. More than anything else, there is snow. Okay. Martian polar ice caps are there. You can see snow and ice are there on Mars. So water is there on Mars, not as liquid water, but as water, ice and snow. Look at that. The snow on the surface of Mars, you can see, taken by one of the spacecraft. Can you get this kind of information from the telescopes on the Earth or even satellites revolving around the Earth? Impossible. So you have to send the spacecraft. This is the power of robotic messengers. And the thing is, water is there on Mars, but why? Water is there means, I told you, in the form of water vapor as well as snow and ice. But why Mars has endeared itself to the scientists on the Earth? There is yet another reason. Look at that. These features, they look like a tree. In fact, they are called as dendritic features. These are the kind of features which are found where a river joins the sea. For example, if you go to Sundarbans near Calcutta, you will see Ganges comes and enters Bay of Bengal. You will see this kind of information. What does it mean? This says water might have flown on Mars in large quantities once upon a time. Then what happened to that? Did life evolve at that time? Has it survived? What are the chances of finding life there on Earth? See, in 1976, two spacecraft landed, Viking 1 and 2 landed on Mars in different areas. And, people thought that, who were thinking that canals are there on Mars, super intelligent beings were there, warmongers were there. They were disappointed. Nothing was visible, not even a small plant, okay, or a chameleon also was not visible. Many people would have cried even, I feel. And forget about large life forms. Viking spacecraft even dug out the soil of Mars, transferred it into a chemical laboratory within the spacecraft lander itself, and analyzed at using technology of the 1970s. There was no unambiguous answer as to whether Martian soil contained microorganisms. Okay, so There has been a debate, but most scientists say that no, there was no life found in the tests conducted there. But all of them have not accepted. So that is the beauty of science. Today, even, there has been after Viking spacecraft landed, many rovers have gone to the surface of Mars. Curiosity and Perseverance, two rovers are beautifully, they're working on the surface of Mars today. And even an helicopter called Ingenuity has flown on Mars. You can have a look at it. Look at the way in which the blades start rotating, and the helicopter as such, it starts. You see, the blades are rotating, you can see, and it goes up. This helicopter Ingenuity, now it is rising from the surface of Mars. It has risen, it is hovering there. 72 times it has flown on the surface of Mars. Humans flew a heavier than air machine in 1903. Within, let us say, in about a century, they flew a craft on the surface of Mars autonomously. Look, this is the beauty of technology. And NASA has explored Mars extremely well. Hats off to them. But the only country and the only space agency, let me say, which scored 100% success in its very first attempt to explore Mars is ISRO, in fact. Okay? India became the first Asian country to reach Mars on 24th September 2014. Okay? When Mars Orbiter Mission spacecraft, or Mangalyaan spacecraft, started orbiting Mars. This is the launch of PSLV, which launched Mars Orbiter Mission Mangalyaan spacecraft on November 5th. And the spacecraft took 10 months, and it was put into an orbit. The kind of commotion, the kind of excitement, that story is, it is so exciting. Goosebumps will come. I was very, very fortunate to be there for this incident also. I was in the PR section of ISRO, Chandrayaan, let us say Chandrayaan 1, Mangalyaan, AstroSat, Mars and Chandrayaan 2. I have participated from ISRO. I'm extremely lucky, I would say, to have worked for such an organization. This is the picture of Mars taken by your Mangalyaan spacecraft. And Mars, some more things I will tell you. Mars takes 687 days to go around the sun once. We take 365 days. Mars takes 687 days. And 1 day on Mars is 24 hours, 39 minutes, I said. Okay. Average temperature on Mars is minus 65 degrees centigrade. Average temperature on Earth is plus 15 degrees centigrade. Compared to the hellish surfaces of Mercury and Venus, this is a heaven, relatively speaking, I would say. And Mars has got two small satellites. Unlike our moon, which is a huge body, they are the two satellites of Mars called Phobos and Deimos are celestial potatoes. Okay. Then beyond Mars, the next planet is Jupiter. On the average, Mars is at a distance of 23 crore kilometers from the sun. I told you, Mercury is at 6 crore kilometers, Venus 11 crores, we Earth at 15 crores, Mars is 23 crores. The next planet, Jupiter, is on the average at a distance of 78 crore kilometers from the sun, 78. In between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, okay, here you see Mars and Jupiter, there is a belt called asteroid belt. Asteroids means star-like, because when they were discovered and even when they were looked through a telescope, still they were dots of light. That means they were very small. So they appeared star-like. Asteroids means star-like. They look like the pieces of a planet that exploded or something. But in reality, astronomers say that they are not the pieces of a planet that broke up. Rather, they are the pieces of a planet that never formed. Look at that. This celestial potato is 60 kilometers wide. And this is called Ida. This is in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. This itself is 60 kilometers, that's all. But it has got a 1 kilometer satellite called Dactyl. Look at that. This was photographed by Galileo space its way to Jupiter. And very recently, a NASA spacecraft called DART, Double Asteroid Redirection Test. Okay, that is a spacecraft went and hit an asteroid circling another asteroid, and they tested whether they could able to change the orbit of that. Why? In the past, scientists say that Earth has become the target of many asteroid collisions, and one of them has wiped out dinosaurs 65 million years back. They say in future, if such a threat is there from asteroids, humans, they don't want to sit as sitting ducks, okay, and see that haplessly, but we have the technology to protect ourselves. Now comes Jupiter, the king of the planets, okay. Jupiter is so huge, okay. The thing is, in one Jupiter, you can put 1,300 Earths inside. If you think Jupiter has a huge ball and Earth has a small ball bearing which is found in bicycles, then 1,300 small steel balls can go inside one Jupiter. In fact, Earths can go inside one Jupiter. As I told you, Jupiter is at a distance of 78 crore kilometers from the sun on the average. Okay, so it is 5 times the distance between the Earth and the sun. And you know, one thing about the outer solar system, that is Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, which is the planets, giant planets inhabiting the outer solar system, they are all, okay, gas giants, and 2 of them are ice giants. That is, there is no solid surface. You just cannot stand on them. There is nothing, no solid surface. Okay, that is the reality. Okay, Jupiter is the largest planet. It takes, the thing is, it is at on the average 78 crore kilometers from the sun. On the average, it takes 11.9 years to go around the sun once. And it takes only 9 hours 50 minutes to spin around its own axis. That is why it has flattened so much. And this is the great red spot, which is an hurricane kind of feature in the atmosphere of Jupiter, which is mostly hydrogen and helium. Most of these planets contain hydrogen and helium. These 4 planets, most of them. Jupiter has got more than 95 satellites, natural satellites. 4 of them are very large. In fact, the largest satellite in the solar system, Ganymede, is larger than the planet Mercury. That is, Ganymede, the largest satellite of Jupiter, is larger than planet Mercury. This is Io. At this moment also, dozens of volcanoes will be actually exploding on the surface of Io. And this is Europa. This is a strong candidate for extraterrestrial life because it is having a very smooth, icy surface below which there is an ocean. That is what scientists say. And Ganymede is the largest satellite, and Callisto is yet another satellite. This is also large. And these are all having solid surfaces, fortunately. Jupiter is not having. And this is the picture of Jupiter taken by James Webb Space Telescope. We think that James Webb Space Telescope is there to study the early universe. It can study solar system also. And next comes Saturn, which is the jewel of the solar system. This is also a gaseous planet, mostly hydrogen and helium. But you know, the thing is, this is also a large planet. It can devour 750 Earths inside itself. Okay, so Jupiter can devour 1,300. This can devour 750 Earths, and this is twice the distance from the sun as Jupiter is. Jupiter is 78 crore kilometers. This is 145 crore kilometers from the sun. We are only at 15 crore kilometers. Saturn takes 29.5 years to go around the sun once, and it takes about 10 hours 40 minutes to spin around its own axis once. Look at that, very fast. A day on Saturn is 10 hours 40 minutes. That's all. And sorry, this is Jupiter, this is Saturn. But why Saturn is called as the jewel of the solar system? That is because of its rings. So though they look like solid features, actually The rings of Saturn are individual particles which are mostly ice and mixed with rock, and the size of these can range from let us say small grains of sand to the size of mountains. Cassini spacecraft, for about a decade, it revolved around Saturn and gave a lot of information about Saturn, its rings, as well as its satellites. And Cassini carried a probe called Huygens, named after Christian Huygens, and this is the one which actually entered the atmosphere of Titan, which has got Titan, which is the largest satellite of Saturn, has an atmosphere which is similar to the atmosphere of the Earth before life formed. That's what scientists say. And it has got a solid surface, and Titan landed on the surface of Huygens landed on the surface of Titan in 2004 actually. And look at that, this is the way the surface of Titan looks, and this is the most distant world on which humans have landed their robotic spacecraft. So Saturn has got more than 146 satellites, in fact. Largest number, in fact, I would say more than Jupiter. Okay, that's the thing. And one of the satellites of Saturn, it is called Enceladus. Okay, this is not a very large satellite, maybe 500 kilometers or something like that. But you can see the jets of water ice, okay, which are like fountains that are coming out. That means there is a liquid water ocean. And this is also one of the nowadays strong candidates for extraterrestrial life. It is not that wherever there is water, there is life or anything. But one of the essential ingredients of life, one of the essential ingredients which is essential for life is water, I would say. And life as we know it, earthly life has water. Okay, that is why water is very important. And these are the rings of Saturn. 8 rings are there for Saturn. Jupiter also has got 4 rings, actually. And ancients knew only up to 6 planets, including Earth. But the 7th planet of the solar system, Uranus, was discovered in 1780 Herschel in using a telescope. Okay, Uranus looks like this. It is a methane haze which is there, and so this is having a diameter of about 50,000 kilometers. And Uranus is twice as far from the sun as Saturn is. The distances are very huge in the outer solar system. And this is in a different kind of light you can see, that is electromagnetic spectrum. You will see some of the features. Uranus takes only at that distance. Uranus is at a distance of 285 crore kilometers on the average from the sun. So it takes only 84 years for Uranus to go around the sun once. 84 years. We take 1 year. And it takes about 16 hours to spin around its own axis once. And it has got 28 satellites. Okay, so that's the way. And Uranus has 6 rings. Okay, Uranus has got 13 rings. 13 rings. This is the picture is taken by James Webb Space Telescope. And one of the satellites of Uranus is called Miranda. Okay, the satellites of Uranus are named imaginatively by after the characters which come in William Shakespeare's Tempest and Alexander Pope's Rape of Lock. Okay, so this Miranda has got a escarpment, which is like a wall here. It is about 20 kilometers high. Because of the small gravity is here, if you jump from here, you take 12 minutes to reach the ground. Compare with something on the Earth. This is called Mount Thar in Baffin Bay, Canada. This is only 1.4 kilometers in height from here to here, valley floor. This is on Miranda. It is the scarp is 20 kilometers high. That is why I say different planets and their satellites are wonderful worlds. This is near your own Mumbai, Bombay. You see, these are the Western Ghats. You can see the kind of features. Here also they are very steep, with steep walls, and they are also very high here, but not comparable to Verona Rupis on Miranda. And Neptune is the 8th planet of the solar system, largest planet of the solar system. It is also about 50,000 kilometers wide, but it is a little bit more massive than Uranus. Voyager 2 spacecraft is the only one which has explored Neptune and Uranus. Okay, and Uranus doesn't betray any features in its atmosphere. At least Neptune is better compared to that. And in 1989, Voyager 2 spacecraft passed at a distance of only 5,000 kilometers from the North Pole of Neptune, and it explored it beautifully. And this is one of the satellites, one of the 14 satellites of Neptune, called Triton, not Titan. Titan is a satellite of Saturn. Triton is a satellite of Neptune. This is also a very interesting body. You can see cryovolcanoes and explosions of icy geysers and such things. So wonderful, no doubt about it. You know, the way in which these things work, it is really amazing, I would say. So Neptune takes only 165 years to go around the sun once, 165. And it takes about 18 hours, 17 to 18 hours to spin around its own axis once. And number of satellites I told you, and it is endowed with 6 rings. Okay, and I'll show you one video of how Voyager 2 spacecraft went near Neptune, North Pole of Neptune. It is passing only at a distance of 5,000 kilometers from the North Pole of Neptune. Look at the way in which its path is changed due to the gravity of Neptune. Now it is coming below the ecliptic. That is the plane in which most of the planets revolve around the sun, like a gramophone plate. See, by coming like this, look at that. This is the power of the robotic messengers of humans. Yet another picture of Neptune taken by James Webb. And Pluto, from 1930 to 2006, it was called as the 9th planet. Now it is classified as a dwarf planet. Anyway, Pluto has got 5 satellites. I'm not going to talk about it. This is the beautiful view of Pluto and its largest satellite, Charon, from yet another satellite of Pluto, which is smaller. Okay. Now I have, in this lecture, I have never touched about the sun, because it is already 1 hour here, more than 1 hour, 1 hour, 5 minutes or something, or the moon. Only cursory mention I made about the moon, and I have not told much about asteroids, only a cursory mention again. And this is the way one of the asteroid looks, and nothing about the Kuiper belt, which is a very interesting thing, okay, about the icy bodies of the solar system. Then this is one of the icy bodies of the solar system called Makemake, or another body. Okay, let us say one of the bodies of the Kuiper belt. And comets, I have never touched on this subject, because these are all, each one qualifies for a 1 hour lecture. One of the European spacecraft landers called Philae, sitting on the surface of a comet called Comet Churyumov-Gerasimenko, and that is the one which this is the artist concept. And so in today's lecture, I gave you a brief overview of the wonderful worlds of the solar system. What are these wonderful worlds? They are the planetary companions of the Earth. Other than Earth, how do the other 7 planets of the solar system, how do they look? What are their characteristics? How do you feel like? And what are the prospects of humans going there? That kind of thing, whether humans can live there. So I have given a brief overview of that, and what seminal role, pivotal role played by human messengers, robotic messengers, I have told you. And thanks for your patience. Once again, I with gratitude, I will thank the Amateur Astronomers Association, Mr. Kalyan Bharat Adur, and as well as Mr. Mangesh Sutter for inviting me. Thank you very much. That ends this lecture. If you have any questions, kindly tell me. I'll be much obliged to answer.
Thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful lecture. That was really entertaining, and we enjoyed. Actually, it was like a tour of a solar system through the eyes of the messengers or the robotic spacecraft. What we see. Let's take up these quick questions. I think a couple of them have already raised hand. I think Savitri, Seema, you can one by one proceed for the questions. Yes, Seema, go ahead.
Please.
Where is a diamond ring seen?
Diamond ring.
Yes.
Okay, diamond ring as it is defined is seen during, rather before and after a total solar eclipse. Okay, when the moon eclipses the sun, at that time, diamond ring. Okay, that is the thing. Okay.
Yeah, Hema. Him, I think. Him. Go ahead.
Please.
Him, you have raised your hand.
No, that is it is muted. The mic is muted there.
Him, your mic is muted. Anybody else has asked question?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Darshan? Yeah.
Please.
Please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Very much.
Louder. Please be louder.
Is there any possibility in future that any asteroid will hit Earth?
Sir, I'm not able to hear you. Can you be more louder?
Is there any possibility in future that any asteroid will hit Earth?
Yeah, you see, there are. Yes. I heard your question. Is there any possibility some asteroid will hit the Earth? Astronomers always think of the possibility and probability. Okay, there are a group of asteroids called near Earth asteroids, in fact, which come very near to the Earth, and some of them pose danger also because they come very near to Earth. But you have to monitor the orbit of asteroids very, very carefully, because any small perturbations make them to move this way or that way. So there is always a possibility and probability. How much of probability is there? That is the thing. But anyway, as I told you, though there are potentially threatening asteroids for Earth, we humans are developing technologies to at least deflect them. That is the way it is. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandeep, your question,
Next.
please. Sandeep, go ahead. Snehal, you go ahead.
Hello, whether we are staying on the earth or in the earth, because we see the sun also. Can you give me answer?
We are on the Earth only, and if you take the Earth's atmosphere also, we are inside the Earth's atmosphere. Okay.
Inside, but we are staying on the earth.
On the Earth, correct. On the Earth.
But how you can see the sun also? While going the space, how it is go to space?
That means, you defy the Earth's gravity and leave the Earth's surface, pass through the Earth's atmosphere, and you go to space. What is wrong in that?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snehal, go ahead.
Wonderful.
Snehal, go ahead.
Yeah, please.
Sir, as you were showing that picture of the Jupiter, there I saw one circle. Is that a sandstorm?
Not sandstorm. There is no sand there. It is a storm. Okay. It is like a cyclone kind of thing. Whatever we have, it is. Sandstorms are found on Mars. Okay. On Mars, sandstorms, because sand is there. But here on Jupiter, there is no sand. Okay, as I told you, at the level what you are talking, they are only gases. Okay, so they are storms, atmospheric different disturbances, I would say.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thanks,
nice.
thanks, Neil.
Yeah,
Vijay, please go ahead.
please.
Vijay, please unmute yourself and
Yeah. Many people have muted.
Good evening. Good evening, sir. I'm Dhruv.
Yeah,
Is there any way to stop asteroid crashing on Earth?
yeah. A very good question indeed. Yeah, there are many ways. Either you can blast something and disintegrate the asteroid. Okay, that is one method, scientists say. But there is a danger in that. If if you don't know how the composition of the asteroid, how much of strength is there, okay, and such things, when you blast an asteroid, it may break up into large pieces and all of them may come and hit the Earth. Okay, again. So the best way is you detect the asteroid when it is quite far away, and using a spacecraft, you try to deflect it a little bit. When it is far away, a little bit of deflection, by the time it comes near the Earth, it would have gone quite far away from the Earth. Okay, it would have missed the Earth by a large distance. That is what they wanted to test. Okay, in the case of DART, double asteroid redirection test, they hit a spacecraft, a robotic messenger, deliberately to one of the smaller asteroids circling the larger one. And now they have confirmed that the orbital period, that is, the time taken by the smaller asteroid to go around the larger one, has changed. So humans have succeeded even in doing this. Okay?
uh,
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
thanks, Vijay. Through Harsha.
Sir,
Yeah.
is there any planet apart from Earth where humans can be seen?
Ah, I wish I knew the answer. But the thing is, as far as I'm concerned, now in the beginning itself, I told you, for us, only one home is there. That is the Earth. There is no Earth 2 which has been found, which is exactly like the Earth or reasonably like the Earth. All the other 7 planets of the solar system, apart from the Earth, okay, they don't resemble the Earth very closely. Mars comes somewhat closest, okay. But beyond the solar system, today there are 8 planets in the solar system, including the Earth. But more than 5,000 planets have been discovered outside the solar system, around other stars. But here and there we come across reports, oh, this is like Earth 2 and such things. But lots and lots of more information is essential for us to understand that. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Anybody else? I think M you can
Excuse
unmute.
me, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Sir, if can I see a asteroid with a naked eyes if it is coming to the Earth very close?
Yeah, you can. You can. That is what I see. Can I see an asteroid means still how big it is? Yes. You can see, for example, excuse me, one of the pieces of an asteroid as recently as 2014, place called Chelyabinsk in the Russia, okay, in Siberia. It came and hit the Siberia. Came and hit Siberia. It was very near to Earth. People were able to see that it is not asteroid, it is a piece of an asteroid.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Anybody have other questions? We left out.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
How are Saturn's rings formed?
Oh, it's good that you asked this question. How the satellites of, rings of Saturn were formed. Yeah, very interesting. Once upon a time, what people who specialize in Saturn, they say, or in the planets, they say, is that, there was a satellite of Saturn, okay, which unfortunately came too close to Saturn. It didn't come and hit the Saturn, but actually it broke up into hundreds of millions of pieces. All of them, they started going around the Saturn like moon goes around the Earth. Okay, eventually they spread out, and that is the way the rings of Saturn were formed. Okay, that is what. This is hundreds of millions of years back, they say.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah, Grace. Grace.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I recently heard about the theory where all the planets are going to line up. So, what makes the planets line up? What causes it?
See, this is a too much of a popularized version of that. Planets are not lining up. Okay, they are in one. They are in the sky at the same time. They say that at least 6 planets are there this month after 21st. Okay, in the night, on the night side of the Earth. Okay, so late in the evening or during reasonably good time during the night, you can see 6 planets, they say, but 2 of them, Uranus and Neptune, they are not at all visible to the naked eye. You can see Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn using through naked eye. Okay, Mercury is not seen, but Mercury also enters the night sky, viewing sky and night sky to a certain extent after February 28th. So after February, between February 28th and March 12th, they say, you can see 7 planets. Mercury, other than Earth, all other planets. Okay. But Uranus and Neptune are not visible to your naked eye. With great difficulty, you can see 5 planets. 4 of them relatively easily, but Mercury is difficult to see. They are not lining up and all those things. They are there. That's all.
Yeah, Shiva.
Good evening, sir.
Shiva, please go ahead.
Sir, can you explain about the permanently shadowed regions of Moon and the difference between the PSRs at North and South Pole?
Which one? North and South Pole of what?
Moon, sir.
Yeah. See,
PSR.
yeah. Permanently shadowed means the axis of the moon, it is not inclined. Okay. Inclined very much. Okay. It is straight like this. Okay. It is spinning. Earth is spinning 23.5 degrees from the vertical, it is like this. So it is spinning. That's why you have seasons. But moon is spinning like this. Okay. Straight. Its axis is straight. And there are many mountains. Okay. So polar areas don't get sunlight at all, mostly. There are mountains there, and on the other side of the mountains, or between the mountains, there are valleys where, excuse me, you don't get the sunlight. That is why they are in the permanently shadowed region of the moon. So is the case with Mercury also to a certain extent. That is. And north and south polar regions, okay, each will have its own characteristic, no doubt about it. South polar region, they say, it has been studied more, and they say it has got certain characteristics, like, even the minerals, as well as potentially a large number of permanently shadowed regions.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Shiva, you have any other question?
Yes. Is it true that Mars had is it true that in Mars there are people before Earth?
No. Forget about people and all those things. Uh, there is no evidence for microorganisms also like bacteria on Mars. In fact, how do you find the relics of human beings? But anyway, in this today's internet era, you will see that a little mermaid on Mars. Oh, NASA has not told, and such things are there. Don't believe all those things. They are all Photoshop pictures. In fact, nothing has been found by scientists that makes you to think that human relics are there and this, that, and all those things. No, that is not true. It's a figment of imagination. That's all.
Okay, sir.
So,
Okay, I think anybody has left out for any question?
thank you.
I think we have taken care of all the questions, sir. Everybody seems to be happy. On behalf of amateur astronomers, I really heartfelt thanks for inspiring and enlightening wonders of us. It was really an incredible insight into the robotic exploration that deepened our appreciation for these cosmic pioneers and their role in funding humanity knowledge. And of course, your passion for space exploration has truly sparked curiosity and wonders within ourselves, and definitely students today will have got a good amount of knowledge, and they look forward to hearing more such sessions from you. With
Thank you.
that, I say thank you to you, and I hand over the final conclusion remarks to you, Bharat sir. Over to you, Bharat sir.
Thank you, Dr. Guruprasad. Thank you very much. Your talk was really very exciting. In fact, one of the things which I would like to share with you that do need talks from you in near future also. So I personally would like to tell you that I personally enjoyed your talk, and I hope such lectures will definitely increase more acceptance. And one more thing I have to share with you, you can share with your other colleagues. The recent coupling of two satellites in space.
Yes.
We all like to congratulate ISRO and its group through you, sir.
Yes. Thank
To
you. Thanks for the honor. Definitely, I'll convey
convey
it.
to your colleagues,
Yeah.
ex-colleagues, that such a fantastic feat would be not possible if
Yes.
scientists like you have done a great job. In fact,
Thank
I
you, sir.
personally congratulate all the scientists at ISRO for doing such a fantastic work.
Thank you, sir. I would definitely do it. And thanks a lot once again. I enjoyed the talk. Definitely,
Yeah,
when we will have more
thank you
talks,
once again, sir.
I'll come. I would like to
And
come and meet
with
you
that
next
few
to Mumbai.
words, I personally visiting Mumbai, we will definitely like to host you for a talk.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. My pleasure, and I am honored. I'll convey the message to ISRO also. Thank you, sir. Namaskar. Namaskar.
With that, thanks, Guru Prasad sir, for being on a call today and session, wonderful session. With that, we conclude today's session. Thanks, Bharat sir, and all other students from various schools and institutions joined today. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Mangeshi. Bye.